There's a photo of you with a wreath, and that wreath appears to have been laid by the graves of the Black September attackers. So, did you lay that wreath on those graves, or by those graves?
The Black September attackers, as you refer to them, some of those that were accused of that were actually killed in Paris, and some of those were killed in Beirut by Israeli agents. There were people there who were not involved in anything to do with that whatsoever. And indeed it was Yasser Arafat's number 2 who was actually killed during that raid. And I, along with other colleagues who were delegates to the conference, laid a wreath in memory of all those that have died, in the hope that we have a peace process and peace in the future, so those raids are never repeated.
So to be clear, because I really don't want
to... I'm totally clear. I'm totally clear that the way forward is of peace, the way forward is of dialogue, the way forward is of recognition. It is not bombing. It is not shooting civilians in Gaza.
So you did lay a wreath?
In memory of all those that died in the 1985 Israeli attack, which, as I've repeated now again, was condemned by the UN Security Council and the UK government and the US government.
But was that wreath not laid by the graves of those who were killed in the Mossad strike in Paris in '92?
It was laid on the graves of all those that had died.
And you did take part in laying the wreath?
I totally condemned what happened in Munich in 1972. Appalling, totally wrong by any stretch of the imagination.
You said a moment ago that your view is that the way to get to peace is to engage with people and to talk to people. And you've said that you've shared platforms with people who you disagree with entirely as a means to doing that. But I wonder on how many occasions you've shared a platform or been at that kind of conference with members of the Israeli government, and whether you've ever laid a wreath at the graves of Israelis killed in Palestinian attacks.
I've met many people from Israeli Parliament, the Knesset, over the years. I've indeed visited the Knesset, and I met visiting Israeli delegations when they've been to Britain. And of course, anybody killed in this awful conflict has to be mourned, and the killing has to be condemned. The way forward has to be dialogue, which can bring about a long-term peace process. And so I would say respectfully to Prime Minister Netanyahu, the killing of all those civilians in Gaza has been condemned all around the world. Keeping the people of Gaza corralled in by military force isn't going to bring about peace any more than expanding settlements is going to bring about peace. Surely the way forward is the recognition of Palestine, and with it alongside, of course, the recognition of Israel.